even more importantly, because these things are unified now, we can do something which is startling when you look at it. We can take devices and in mid-use, because it's cloud-based, you could substitute another device. So for example, with our book product, this is true of others as well, you're busy reading a page, somehow the phone breaks or what have you, switch to a different device, either a PC or a phone, and there you are on the same page because it's all cloud resident. So all of a sudden you have this agility, you have this ability that nobody else could do.
Once again, Eric's thinking is still device-oriented. Imagine a ubiquitous computing environment where the nearest screen recognizes you. It's not about just reading, it's about every moment as you move in an area where there's a screen, whether it's going into your car, whether it's leaving the car, whether it's at the elevator, whether it is in the mall, whether it is in your office, whether it is walking down the hall. The nearest screen recognizes that it's you, and it's now supporting what you're up to and what's next for you. The nearest screen, once recognizing you, will be supporting you in what you're interested in or what you're concerned about each moment.
So you really can do magic. Google Translate, the ability to talk to your phone and have it come out on the other end in Spanish. And it's funny that you sit there and you think, we've talked at length about universal translation, and yet here it is, it's just arrived because of the combination of the phone, the network, and all those computers. The phone just takes your voice, the network just delivers the voice in encrypted or digitized form, and the supercomputer that's in the cloud does the appropriate video and voice recognition, the translation, the voice generation, and out it comes back the other way, and that's done in, a 20th of a second or what have you.
When interactivities become the very base of our existence, it won't matter where or who or even what language a person speaks that can support us. Inside this new technological space, it's an interactive environment. It has nothing to do with applications, programs, or anything like that. It has to do with interacting with what's important to us and the resources and people that can immediately be involved in supporting our interests and our concerns each and every moment.
So all of a sudden, you can be anybody you want in terms of your ability to speak a language. You can, if you have trained in CPR, right, you can tell a location-based app to notify when your help is needed, and you can go off and help save a life. Start thinking about the implications of that level of smartness, location dependency, and again, with your permission, sharing of information with your friends.
This is the very reason why I'm using Eric Schmidt's talk, because he does see a future. He doesn't see that it's not device or company oriented. He doesn't see the entity. He sees Google as collecting information that can be helpful. He doesn't see building profiles for each human being and that we know what's best for us, not some other third-party company.
You can think of what we're trying to do at Google is to get you to something very fast. That we ultimately believe that speed matters, that your time matters, that we want to get you back to being human and not a slave to the computer.
Exactly. But it isn't Google or Microsoft or Apple that'll give us what we want. We know what we want, and it'll be built into our profile. Our profile will learn what's important to us. It'll anticipate our every need, and it'll give us a capacity to function in a way we've never functioned before.
As I walk or drive the streets, I don't have to type the search in. The search is me and my interests with a GPS on a phone.
What about as our plans get enacted out, as we're reaching for the appointment, and as we're walking towards the car and we are entering the car, that the GPS is already set up and our capacities in the car won't be any different than anywhere else? What happens when the nearest screen, no matter where we are, allows us to have full functionality with all the resources and people that we could ever imagine?
Well, that's just the beginning of a large number of new apps that can be built that use that infrastructure to make a big difference.
I see a whole world of apps and companies and services and everything that you could possibly imagine that would support not only people in all the different areas of life that I mentioned before, like work and family and spirituality and wealth and dignity and belonging, but also organizational concerns and all the different areas that organizations desire and they're concerned about, because they too can be entities.
And search is also fundamentally understanding about what you mean. When I say, what's the weather like, it really means, should I wear a raincoat? Or does it mean, do I want to water the plants? So the more I know about you, the more Google knows about you. Again, you have to decide you want to do this. And many people will choose not to do this. Those who do, all of a sudden will be able to get even more personal results.
So my question is, why would Google or anybody need to know more about us? What's important is that we develop our own profile, that our profile is serving us, and that it's now connecting us with all the resources, all the capabilities, all the services, anything that's possibly valuable or might serve us each moment.
As part of our investment in underlying search infrastructure, we're also working to provide more structured data. We're literally working to sort of extract, to move from syntax to semantics, to understand that when you do a travel search, you're asking about pretty structured data, whether it's hotels or airlines, and they will take you to the appropriate sites that have all of the best information about that, and then you can decide what you want to do.
One of the things I always wondered about were these brilliant men that came up with these incredible algorithms. They had figured out to the best that they could what it was that you as an individual or me as an individual might want. And we're individuals. We're different. We have different propensities. We have different interests. We have different concerns. And what better way of learning and having an intelligence supporting us than a personal profile?
And indeed, one of the key things about software applications for mobile is they're going to want to have an advertising component unless they're selling the apps for $1 or $2, and we want to make sure to do that.
All this talk about searches and applications and advertising. In this new world, all this is going to shift. There won't be searches. When we speak about something, what's important to us will show up. There won't be applications or something separate to use. So whatever we need might show up. There might be little devices, little things that will support us that we might be able to purchase or pick up or borrow or rent. There might be different applications or robots or different aspects of stuff that will support us just like it does in our home. This is the future. It isn't about searches. It isn't about separate applications. It really isn't about anything that's separate from our acting and being in the world. Advertising, as we know, will likely disappear. Resources will just show up in the moment that we desire something, and advertising will shift into providing resources. The noise of advertising may disappear forever.
So it goes something like this. You're walking down the street, you're confused, which I am typically. What do I do? And it's your phone remembers that I need new pants, right? Or in some way, or need some new product. And it knows where I am, and it knows ahead of me is a store on the left and the store on the right. And one is going to offer me a 20% discount, and the other one's going to offer me a 30% discount. It shows me those two offers. It programmed that I'm a cheapskate, and so I always take the biggest discount on a net revenue basis, and tells me turn right. I walk into the store knows I'm coming, the pants are ready, I sit there and go boom, and out I go. You don't think this is going to work, guys? Trust me. Think about consumerism. So that model, or some variant of it, in terms of the speed with which electronic transactions can do, should revolutionize both electronic commerce as well as payments. And I think in that are very large businesses, because you know where the person is. Again, this is all opt-in, so they have to want it and so forth and so on.
So even though I'm concerned about all the creative destruction and transitions that will occur for so many people, there's so many new opportunities inside this new space. And it's really amazing that Eric is demonstrating how a personal profile and how our activities will allow for seamless operation, and for how advertising will occur as resources for us, that this is the store, or these are a couple of choices, or this is what you want, or do you remember that you were wanting to get something for your son or your daughter? This is the world that we'll be living in very, very shortly, that will be supporting us in what it is that's important to us, and issues with life and work and our families each moment of every day.